Hey, what's good, YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else you guys can find us. As your usual weekly H-Town rundown. You can find us at such on Twitter and Instagram. It is your host, Preston or Drip Guy. You guys can find me down below on Twitter or Instagram as well at drip_GAWB. I got my boy, Dante. You can find him at Coach Dante31 on Twitter and Instagram as well. Dante, what's good, man?
Hey man, what's good, man? NBA playoffs is heating up. We in the final four of the NBA playoffs, but got a big day for our Rockets tomorrow, man. We're gonna find out where we land at in the draft lottery. A lot of people gonna be nervous. Don't want to land out the top. Don't want to land out of the top five, but that's how we can at least land in the top two, top three. If we land in the top three, I'll be fine with that because I'm in Brandon Miller range right down in Scoot Henderson range. So let's see, man. Tomorrow, big day for us. Ime Udoka will be representing our Houston Rockets tomorrow.
Yeah, man, I was actually kind of excited to hear about that. I mean, I knew we were gonna have, I suspected somebody like a Jalen and KPJ or maybe Tillman Fertitta himself coming in, but for Ime to likely offer, but then be willing to go to that is a huge step, and it shows that we're ready to move into phase 2 of the rebuild. I'm so excited. But of course, man, D-Day is coming up for us, and oh boy, tomorrow's gonna be crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie, like I was looking at some of the percentages, Brad on Twitter, you guys can follow my @Brad on Twitter for the Houston Rockets community. He dropped some of the percentages for how likely it is for Houston to get, or like what the percentage is for Houston to get certain picks, man, and that 20% at pick 6 and 27% at pick 5 is just staring me dead in my face, man. I don't like it, man.
Man, I love pick 6, man. I'll take, like I say, we've been stuck in between the 2 or the 3 range. If we can stick in between there, we can get Scoot or Brandon Miller. So other than that, long as we had 2 or 3, or if we had 1, we'll be fine right there. But like I say, Scooter Brandon Miller would do it for me. But tomorrow should be a big day. And let's hope Ime Udoka, the head coach, everybody excited about that. Let's hope he give us a little luck. And plus, people don't know, we got 60 mil in cap space. That's enough to sign 2 max free agents. That we can do something with that. So big day for us tomorrow, starting off tomorrow.
Oh man, I can't wait to get into it today, man. So this is actually the last pod that we're gonna do for the Houston Rockets season grades. Okay. We're moving on here to the coaches and front office, and then we'll be done. We'll be done finally after 3-4 weeks of this. We'll officially be done. But we're gonna move on to that. So the Rockets rundown go as such: the Houston Rockets season grades. Some playoff news is what we'll be moving into, of course. I'm going to talk about some of the end of the season awards here for the 2022-2023 NBA season. Yeah. I can't wait to debate and see what Dante think about some of these awards, man, because I got some hot takes, man. Sizzling takes today. I'm definitely getting canceled on this pod. I can't wait.
I might be in your same area. You never know.
Yeah, boy, yeah. All right, so we're going to start right away. We're going to start with the coaching staff. I'm just going to kind of talk about them as a whole here, as they didn't necessarily have so much of as an individual improvement or like individual schemes and whatnot that we were shown, other than like occasionally when Lyon Hollins would tell Steven Silas to run a play and then he wouldn't until the last game of the season, or when John Lucas won us our 2 of our 22 games won this season. It's pretty tough when he only coached 2 games.
You got an undefeated record with John Lucas actually coached.
100% record. How many teams can say they got 100% record with the head coaches?
Mike, your mic. Shout out to everybody, man. My boy Press going through some issues over there. Mr. AD, don't get that for us right there. Don't get that side right there. There we go. There you go.
Oh man. Yeah, we back. As per usual, just technical difficulties as always been. But yeah, as a whole for the Houston Rockets coaching staff, wasn't great. Obviously, primarily we're going to be grading this on Steven Silas as he was the head coach. And I won't even lie, it's really bad when I say that the assistant coach and Lionel Hollins and uh, other members are boosting my rating. Usually it's the other way around, like, oh, the assistant coach, he didn't do too much, he was just kind of the lapdog, whatever, but we know the dynamic between good cop, bad cop, with Silas being good cop as a head coach, and John Lucas being the bad cop. The training, the practice videos that came out where Lucas is like, hustling our guys and like yelling at them, and Silas is doing his all, to quote Josh Christopher, coming out, it's rough. I mean, and not to be disrespectful, but we got to go with a D, right? Like, this is an atrocious season.
Yeah.
I would say that this roster was better than the roster last year, and that obviously reflects in the games won, this year compared to last year. But I mean, with the Magic, Orlando Magic winning 30 games, it's just, with us being tied with the Spurs after they traded their best player last season to the Hawks, like, it's bad. So I got to go with a D, man. And we can talk about some. You can talk about your grade and then get into why you feel that way, and then I'll talk about a moment with Silas that made me think that he was gone forever. But go ahead.
So I'm gonna give it an F just because he started Bruno Fernando over Alfie. So I'm gonna give it an F just for that. He deserves an F just for that. Like I said, we all know, for as Steven Silas, he was a assistant coach for 20 years. Lord have mercy on his father's soul, but his father wasn't never a solid head coach in this league. But it's a reason why Steven Silas has been assistant coach for 20 years. It's a reason, and he's very good offensively. He doesn't know how to coach as a head coach, but I'm gonna say, I believe, far as a veteran team, I believe he would have done better with. But when you lose the locker room at any point of time, that's saying something. When the young players doesn't have respect for you, that's saying something. So he lost the locker room several times. Not enough in-game adjustments. Not knowing how to use players. Not knowing how to not play Dacian Nix. That's another reason I gave him an F, because he played Dacian Nix consistently when you know Dacian Nix ain't good. When Dacian Nix gets in the game, it always turns the table. He always do something for the game to get out of hand. Whether if it's a turnover, bad shot. It seemed like teams like Memphis or Orlando, when Dacian Nix is in the game, they run off with the basketball game. It just always seems like that. But other than that, I'm gonna give him an F. I don't think I gave him a pass his first year, because we had to deal with the James Harden bullshit all off season, throwing balls at Jason Tate, just acting a fool. And
being a child.
Got to the point when John Wall spoke up on it, with DeMarcus Cousins spoke up on it. That's how it was that bad. So he came in with nothing really to work with. He thought he was going to come in with Russell Westbrook and James Harden playing together. That's what he thought he was going to come in and do. But at the end of the day, he had 2 full seasons to try to get it right. We were the youngest team in the league outside of Eric Gordon. OKC is better than us. Orlando gets Pablo. They improved dramatically. And you will argue we competed with those teams right there. But that's what happens when you have a bad head coach. And he's going to get a coaching job, but not a head coaching job in this league. So other than that, I'm going to give him an L for that. And the reason, and I gave him an L, I didn't just give him an L because he started Bruno Fernando. That's just the start of the problem right there. When you thought Bruno Fernando was actually better than Al P, and when you kept playing Dacian Nix, when you know Dacian Nix is not good. I don't give a damn how old he is. You should know he's not better than no Josh Christopher. You should know that at points. So Steven Silas gets an F for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you on that. I mean, I've been saying it since day one, man, and people know Josh Christopher, molded by Ime, is going to be Eric Gordon 2.0 with a better handle, man. Josh Christopher is so good. He's got all the tools to be a fantastic offensive player, and it just baffles me that somebody who is as good as an offensive coordinator, but just in general, great at solving offensive issues as Silas was, while he was assistant coach and an offensive coordinator, you figure that he'd realize that, Josh Christopher is just a fantastic player. We need to put him in. And even when, KPJ was out, Christopher was still in the G League. Ty was in the G League. Bro, your point guard is in the G League, and you don't want more ball handlers. You want Dacian Nix, bro. I understand giving someone a chance. I do. If you made it to the NBA, you were infinitely better than 98% of any player, like any person on the planet. I respect it, but bro, Dacian is gonna win G League MVP and nothing more. I never understood the flash or the potential behind Dacian Nix, and obviously, in some situations he was set up to fail. But so was Jalen Green, so was KPJ, so was Şengün, so was Jabari, and we saw how horrible Jabari was to begin the season. I mean, he was literally the worst player in the entire league. And then Dacian Nix came, and then it was those two, at the bottom. But still, it was just.
I mean, Jabari Smith is too talented for you not to try to run a play for him.
Yes.
How you not to try to run a play for him when you got a 6'10" guy that can post up, that can shoot, or when teams are consistently playing a zone against you, you don't put him over the middle so he can shoot the basketball. So other than that, the lack of using Jabari Smith, having him sit in the corner at times. I like the way Jabari Smith do pick and pop a lot, even though sometimes he wasn't making it. But when you saw that second half, how Jabari Smith was when he was actually getting plays ran from him, he was getting pin downs run from him, he was getting in the post, asking for the ball, being more aggressive. Not just grabbing an offensive board. You'll see when he just grabbed the offensive board and just slam it down immediately. Jabari Smith played like a straight-up dog in the second half, but it's just sad to see. Steven Silas did not run a lot of plays, and you're going to see a lot of that from Ime Udoka coming into this.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what Ime is going to do with 6'10" Kevin Durant, but 20 years old, I mean, also, we'll forget that Jabari is 20 years old, and I know the excuses, because Dacian posted on his Twitter, like, man, y'all some goofies, I'm only 21 years old, yada, yada. But here's the thing. Is you 21 years old and have no pressure, and you still failing. Versus Jabari had all the pressure at the third overall pick and wasn't have plays random for him. You have more plays ran for Dacian Nix before the All-Star break than you had for Jabari Smith. That's bad. That's bad coaching, okay?
That's terrible coaching.
That's atrocious, But, I mean, just to sum it up, Silas didn't have the greatest records to begin with. We had the 20-game losing streak when John Wall and Christian Wood got hurt. We had the 15-game losing streak last season before, I think Jalen Green, KPJ was hurt, And then this season we had, I think, an 11 and a 13-game losing streak, which are the 20-game is the most games lost ever by the Houston Rockets. The 15-game losing streak is tied for second most games lost in a single season in a row. And then the 13 is tied for fourth most losses in a row by the Houston Rockets franchise. That in itself is absolutely incredible when you really think about it. I mean,
that's a lot of losing.
That's a lot of losing, I mean, and again, like to the credit, like you think like last year, like DeJounte Murray was an all-star talent. He was fantastic. I think he put up like 18, 8, and 8 on 1.5 steals and like almost a block a game, right? Like crazy triple-double machine, This season, you took him away, okay? And I would say Jalen Green is better than Keldon Johnson. I would say that Şengün was better than Jakob Poeltl. Say KPJ is better than Trey Jones. But guess what? We had the same record as them, bro. The same record. Ooh.
No way in the world we're supposed to have the same record than San Antonio. But like I say, man, coaching killed us that game. Coaching killed us the first two games that we actually played in San Antonio. Again, no adjustments, lack of adjustments. And it was times in this year, the team just flat out quit on Steven Silas. They quit multiple times on him, and that's not the mentality you want as a coach, have as a coach in on your bench. So good job by Raphael Stone noticing it and taking a hit on it and just fire him. And all of a sudden, like I said, I snuffed this out, and I pretty much served Pastor snuffed this out. He was becoming a puppet. He was getting told how to run his organization, how to run the players. He was getting told who to play, who not to play. He was getting told that. But at the end of the day, you're the head coach of this team. You put you play the rotation that you feel is best that's going to go out there and help this team win. And Steven Silas didn't do that, and we're going to see a lot of that from Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka is going to put the best players out there that's going to help this team win.
You said it best, man. They're actually going to put someone out there that knows how to make something called an adjustment. I mean, we saw so much of that this year where it's just like, at one point, where is the line seen as insanity, where you just keep trying and trying and trying the same thing and it's not gonna work, but you keep doing it and expecting different results? Like, it's not gonna work, and like, not that I am ever to say like, oh man, injuries, I'm so glad the so-and-so got injured, but bro, I'm so happy that Bruno got injured so we could start Şengün, because if we did not have Bruno injured, I don't know how long it would have taken for Şengün to get off the bench.
Yep.
Because those first 5 games, atrocious, bro. Garbage. Okay. Şengün was playing great off the bench, man. I'm like, I remember on Twitter, even Jackson, all of us, we were like, oh man, can we start Şengün, please? He's playing so well. But but guess what? They didn't want to do it. They don't like that. They allergic to wanting to win.
Yep.
Like, and to cap it off, man, I'm looking at Silas's record right now. Between 3 seasons, we won 59 games. Okay, 3 seasons.
Goodness.
That's 2 82 seasons and 1 shortened season to 72 games. Okay.
Yeah.
We've lost 177 games.
100.
That is 177 games. We have.
Is that the worst? Is that the worst head coaching?
Yes.
That's the worst head coaching record that anybody out of here.
Yeah. With at least 230 games played, that is the worst head coaching record of all time. No wonder KPJ couldn't act as a point guard. Because bro didn't know how to act as a point guard, because Silas didn't put him in places to succeed. Jalen Green looked like a shot chucker because we given him the ball with 5 seconds left and said, okay, Jalen, go ahead. Go get a bucket. And then Silas bench him when he can't get a bucket in 5 seconds or less, bro. This ain't the Steve Nash Suns. Okay, this isn't the 7 seconds or less offense. And you're running it through a 20-year-old, bro. Okay. Calm down. Oh, man.
I wonder why he's been an assistant coach for 20 years in the league.
Oh yeah. To put that off, the average plus minus for Silas, right? Yeah, minus 19 that first year, minus 21 that second year, and then minus 19 this year. Combining for a minus 59 as a coach. Again, in terms of plus minus, that's bad, and as for the record, that totals out to be a 25% win percentage.
Yeah.
Dude. Man. Bro, that's what do you even say to that? Like, what do you do? Like, that's hot. Silas, again, I appreciate that you tried. Okay. You came into a situation and you thought you were going to get something that was completely different. Again, that first season, we won 17 games. But I didn't even put that on you. I was like, nah, man, I can't wait. We got John Wall and Christian Wood, man. We're going to make the 8th seed next season. Wait till we get Jalen Green. And we won 3 more games than we did last season with 10 more games available.
And we actually, you know what? We actually, when we had John Wall, then we actually was doing pretty good until John Wall and Christian Wood got hurt. You remember?
Yeah.
And when we went down there and blew out Memphis, we went in there and blew out Memphis. We was the 8th seed at that time when we did that. We lost to San Antonio on a heartbreaker on a close game, and we would never want to say. And you know what? Our next win came. We lost 20 straight, I believe. We lost 20 straight games. When Christian Wood come and John Wall came back, we finally beat Toronto. We beat Toronto.
Yeah, we had just beat the champions.
Yeah, we beat Toronto. I clearly remember we were 11-31 going into that game. So that told you we was on a 20-game losing streak, and when they got back in the lineup, we beat Toronto. That's the day we beat Toronto.
I do remember right before James Harden got out of there, I believe we were like the 6th seed, and then like you said, like we were the 8th seed. It's like had the injuries not happened, we realistically still could have made the playoffs, or at least the play.
We could have been, yes, we could have been like competitive. We would have been competitive. We would have definitely been competitive.
But we went full tank mode. Cool. I get it. Our star players are hurt. I remember for the All-Star, even the next season where we only won 20 games, Christian Wood was almost an All-Star. He was 7th in fan voting. And obviously the cutoff is 5, I think, or something like that, or it was 10, and then the players voted and Christian Wood got bumped down. That's fine. But Christian Wood was 7th at that time. Like we smashed those votes. We almost got his ass, pardon my French, in the All-Star vote, in the All-Star game, despite being, I think, the 12th seed at the time. Because like we were like, we were almost there. And then, we plummeted after February. And that's when the votes really started to count. Christian Wood fell down. We kept getting hurt. Players are throwing tantrums in the locker room. Eric Gordon is done with it, obviously, and respectfully so, because Eric Gordon, I've got so much respect for Eric Gordon. Man sat in silence and was like, I understand we ain't going to win, but I'm going to be here to try to corral these youngins in. But he can only do so much because, as John Wall said, you can't get too much in the faces of KPJ and Jalen because they're the faces of the franchise, and respectfully Jalen, but not so much KPJ.
I don't feel bad for Christian Wood because, again, we gave him his only shot. Like he couldn't get a shot with nobody, but he got a shot with Detroit. He did get a shot with Detroit, and he averaged about like 13 points per game, 37% 3-point shooting before the COVID hit. And we gave him his shot, and he averaged 19 and 11 and 10 with us. And then for him to be a locker room cancer and want to be stubborn, not want to come off the bench, and want to pass the ball against Golden State on purpose.
Oh my!
And that was one of the worst. And then against Denver, he didn't even get a start, and he was tight about that. Mm-hmm. And I say, I'm not upset about Christian Wood. I don't feel bad for him. And look, he may be up out of the league in a year or two. Because
he might.
Look what happened in Dallas. He was unplayable in Dallas. Unplayable.
Yes. I don't know how much coaching had an effect on it, but like obviously people want to talk about KPJ's attitude. Let's talk about Wood's attitude here. I know we're getting away from coaching, guys, but we're going on a rant right now. I know, Wood has an attitude, right? That was so fierce that the coach of Dallas Mavericks didn't want to play him, despite them needing him, right? Because when you think about it, like Wood in a vacuum, he is Kristaps Porzingis light. He's the guy. He can dribble, he can block. He's a good perimeter defender when he wants to be. He's a fantastic paint defender when he wants to be. He's a great rebounder when he wants to be, and he's a 3-level scorer. But he doesn't want to try. He just wants to get the ball, ISO brick, not try on defense. ISO brick, not try on defense, That's what he wants. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go out there, have fun, and get his numbers up so we can get a bigger contract. Well, I'll tell you now, that 19 mil that you were making is the most you will ever make in a single season again. If you would have just calmed down, kept your voice quiet, and expressed your concerns, you could have still got traded to Dallas on much better terms. And we could have got a better deal instead of moving to the 28th pick in the draft for you. I can't believe that's all we got for Christian Wood when we treated him, 21 and 9.5 guy that season. on, I think, 35% 3-point percentage. Like, and we got the 28th pick and Boban. What? Yeah, I was not very happy about that. But nonetheless, I'm glad we moved on from him. And to round it back out to Silas, like, it seems like the losing mentality was getting to our players, and I'm glad that we have a coach now who wants to win. That's the big thing, is that now we have a coach who wants to win. The front office wants to win. So now they're on the same level versus Silas being this yes man and letting Tillman Fertitta, come in and direct the team, even though bro don't know a single gosh dang thing about basketball. Respectfully, he does not know anything about basketball. Talking about bro, you should be running screens for these guys. Daisha Nix gets 0 minutes. No, I'm turning the sliders all the way down when I see Daisha Nix. No. But it is what it is, right? I went with the D for my grade. He went with an F for his grade. I was being generous because John Lucas got us 2 wins, and I love John Lucas so much, man. The energy that man got every time he run up and down the court, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. Like, bro, like 90 years old out there running around yelling like he Greg Popovich. Like, bro, calm down.
Now I would have gave him a DP and start Bruno Fernando the first week, damn no week of the season. But other than that, I want to put something out there though. People like to call us a dumpster fire organization. Well, again, we hired the best head coach on the market, coach on the market, and but we are a dumpster fire organization, and we hired the best coach on the market. And what's so good about it, Ime Udoka wanted to come here and play for us. He wanted to come here and play for us. He did. He wanted to come here and not play, but coach this team. And he's going to get this team on the right track, man. Like I say, we got 60 mil in cap space. We're going to get some people. We should be able to do enough to get some people in here and stuff that want to contribute to this team, that's going to contribute to winning. And he could have had any other job too, though. But like, he could have held off. He could have waited. Oh, look what jobs that opened up. Milwaukee is open. Toronto is still open. Detroit may be still open. Detroit is still open. The Suns is open now. Who knows? The damn 76ers may be open.
Yeah.
He waited and went to a better team, went to a contending team, but he said, no, man, I see something in this young team that I can correct. I see I can probably bring some players in here that wants to play. And Jaylen Brown got a great relationship with Ime Udoka. A lot of people don't know about that. So I'm not saying I would do that option and give up picks for him, but that's an option that we can look at as well. That's an option that they may explore. But with $60 million in cap space, like I said, enough to sign free agent 2 max contracts. That's enough to sign 2 max contracts and do some other things with that money. Probably so. And we got the most cap space in the NBA as of right now. Some people don't know we got the most cap space. So we got the MO to go out there and get some of these players. And like I say, again, he wanted to come coach here, and people calling us a dumpster fire. Why would he want to come coach here? Because he want to come coach here because he feel like he sees some assets that he can make better. He see a Jalen Green that he can get coach up better. He see a Jabari Smith, a rising young player. He see a Al P who can turn into one of the best playmakers as a center in the game and stuff. He already, when you compliment from Jokic, when you get a compliment from him saying the offense should be run through him, that's saying something. So Ime Udoka wanted to be in Houston. He wanted to come coach here, and the Rockets had second visits. They turned them all down and say, here, Ime, you got the keys. You got the cream to the crop. This your roster. You get a decision on the coaching staff and who you want to bring in, or if you want to keep somebody on the coaching staff, you can do that. But a lot of people saying that we are dumpster fire because, again, we are dumpster fire, but we hired the best coach out there, and the best coach wanted to come here. So we're not much dumpster fire as everybody say we are. If the coach, that's from the Texans and the Rockets. We got 2 of the top coaches that was on the block, on the market. So that's saying.
Nice, man. Go H-Town, man, especially Houston, bro. Think about it, man. Everything is coming together according to plans. I love it. So yeah, we're gonna move on from the coaching staff. I know you guys are absolutely tired. We dragged this out as long as we could, man. We just had to make sure that y'all knew about Silas. Cause yeah, that stank, bro. Yeah. But now we can move on to what we really want to talk about is the front office. Dante, you want to start us off on this one?
Oh man, I got a little bit of mixture on this front office right here. So I'm going to go with, man, it's tough. You know what? I'm going to give them a C minus.
C minus.
I think they handled it well. I just think the coach, well, the hire of Steven Silas, I see why you hired him. But at the end of the day, I mean, we were able to draft well. We drafted well. We drafted pretty well. We scouted pretty well. But again, what did we have to work with? James Harden being an asshole. PJ Tucker not wanting to be here. Pretty much following James Harden, and going out and winning a championship. We did right with Eric Gordon, not trading him for not trading him till we got something back for him. We got a first round pick out of Christian Wood. We got a first round pick out of him when nobody wanted it. When nobody actually wanted him, but he was able to get a first round pick up out of him. Probably the worst trade probably Tillman Fertitta did probably was the Chris Paul deal for Russell Westbrook. That's probably the worst deal that kind of got us at that point. But other than that, man, I don't think the front office is that bad. And guess what? We was able to hire Ime Udoka. We was able to, all that mess that we went through, we didn't have too much cap space at all to sign a free agent because no free agent wanted to come here at this time. But now
don't blame them.
Yeah, don't blame me either. We got 60 mil. Like I said, we got 60 mil. That's the most cap space out of any team in the NBA. That's enough for 2 max free agents. I know y'all tired of me saying this, but at the end of the day, like I say again, that's something good. We got the best coach that's on the market who everybody was going to consider, who everybody would love to get their hands on. But that's a major improvement. So I'm going to give it a C, actually a C minus. I'm going to get a front office a little bit more of a pass because what they started out to work with, Raphael Stone came in, had to deal with James Harden, including the COVID year. You remember John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins did miss games on COVID. And you remember, again, we went on a 20-game winning streak without Christian Wood, without 20-game
losing streak.
Without John Wall, what we had to deal with injuries. Deal with injuries this year. Deal with a horrible coach. I'm gonna give it a C minus. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a pass. I think they had to come in with some adversity from the start, especially Raphael Stone.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. To start off with, I'm going to say a C+, right? I'm giving them a little more leeway because I liked how we drafted. Like, who gets Şengün at the pick we did? Who gets Tari at the pick we did, Like, for them to be able to slide down to us, we just snatched them up, Like, we found gold in the rough there. That was absolutely fantastic scouting on their part. Now, obviously, the thing I'm really dinging them on is, we should have fired Silas, like, mid-season. Like, the Hawks fired their coach 2 years ago mid-season and then went to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Like, I don't see the reason as to why a team that's in playoff mode can feel free to fire their coach, but we, for some reason, can't. I understand that, Silas's dad had passed. It's really hard to have a man lose their job, but bro getting the pension anyway, like, it's not like he's straight. He got the money. He's not worried at all, Now, obviously, it was someone more common, like me, if I got fired from my job after, my pops just died, that'd be different. Because I'm making, I probably make in a year what Silas made in like 4 days. At the end of the day, it's really not about money. That was just being nice, right? And we saw how far nice gets us. 22 wins. It don't work. So yeah, that's what I'm really thinking him on, is keeping Silas for so long. And then, yeah, man, I just did not like the John Wall trade. I can't believe they got triple-double. The Wizards got triple-double Russ for John Wall and a second pick.
Yeah.
And then we got 20 points per game, 32 games out of John Wall while he was here for 2 seasons. And then another gripe I had was sitting John Wall for an entire season. I get that we wanted to tank because I was all for it. You know, I'm all for the. I was all for the tank. You know, I'm here for it. I get, you know, we're not trying to win as many games, but I think KPJ and Jalen missed out on crucial John Wall on court services. You know, it's one thing to teach it in practice, but to see it in game, that's what I think they missed. You know, and I feel like KPJ really could have averaged, you know, 7.2 assists this season. You know, but it, you know, because of what ended up happening, you know, and how it went down, he didn't, you know. I would have rather seen John Wall play than see 2 games of Daishan Nix. That could have gone to John Wall, you know. I would have rather seen John Wall play a few more games and like let KPJ rest. Maybe he doesn't hurt his ankle, you know. Maybe this, maybe that. I'm not gonna sit here and say we could be completely different. And like maybe we win an extra game or 2. So what? You know, we got the 3rd pick in the draft anyway as the worst team. You know, so like it's not like it would have increased our odds any. We probably wouldn't have lost more games. You know, I just, you know, I don't know. That's a big gripe I've got. You know, sitting a guy who's making, I think he was making what, $44 million a year.
$44 million a year. Yeah.
That is the highest paid coach in NBA history. Bro, you cannot set a player who makes $44 million, bro. He's not Kawhi Leonard. Okay, you can't do that. You know, you just can't.
By the way, the Atlanta Hawks fired both of their coaches in mid-season. They fired Lloyd Pierce in you know, part of early start of the season. They fired Nate McMillan this year. And
they fired Nate.
They fired
Nate.
Yeah, early in the part of the season. So yeah,
because they got the Utah coach now, right?
Yeah, they got Quinn Snyder. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we saw how well that went. Oh man. But yeah, you know, and then just to talk about, you know, coaching once again, for these guys to sweep and just snatch up Udoka like that, bro. I mean, like you said, we were supposed to have like rounds and like 2 or 3 rounds of like coaching interviews, but the second they saw Ime was ready to go, we snagged him. And I think it was also in Ime's best interest to just take the first team that interviewed him too, because of what had happened. And in Houston, it's a clean slate, right? It's not like he's going back to Boston and he's got to face that same crew, that same staff. No. And it's not like he's going to some big team like the Lakers where the stars are really bright, you know. He's going to a team that doesn't have a lot of expectations, you know. I mean, we've got some expectations, but not like playoff aspirations or necessarily like high seeding. Yeah.
This also is going to give them a lot of time too to develop these guys too.
Yes.
A lot of years to develop these guys. Like that's a lot of pressure. If you're going to Milwaukee, that's a lot of pressure to win. That's a lot of pressure to win games. When you're going to someone like Milwaukee, you're going to somewhere like Detroit. It's the same scenario from like just like us. You're going somewhere where you're going to have plenty of time. You're going to have a lot of time to get this roster where it needs to be. But you're going against Milwaukee, you're going with Milwaukee, you're going with Phoenix with Kevin Durant. You got to win that. You got to win now. So I like him, but the fact that he chose here, that he wants to build something and he want to build relationships with the guys. And like I say, I think we're going to get some free agencies, people in here. And I think we're going to use some of that money to get some quality pieces up in here to help us get to at least a playing tournament. Playing tournament this year, next year will be awesome.
Yeah.
That shows you people and other free agents gonna look at that and want to come join this team and want to build. That gets us a next step to the playoffs, you know, maybe to the conference semifinals. But being in the playing tournament next year with a new revamp, we're going to definitely have a new revamp roster plus draft pick we're going to have, depends on what we got tomorrow. We're going to come out with tomorrow. We're going to have a new improved roster next year. So ain't no way in hell I see this offseason we don't get free agents to come in with the most cap space in the league, with the most cap space, with a great head coach who's already been to the NBA Finals with a young group. Yes, Jason Tatum, they're superstar guys. They're star caliber guys. But you got some guys on this team, when coached better, they can be the same way. And plus, I mean, again, the free agency free agents we're gonna bring in, we're gonna be targeting people a lot. And again, they're gonna want to play for Ime Udoka, and a lot of people respect Ime Udoka around this league. So again, I'm glad he chose here. He could have had any job. I mean, Nick Nurse was on our second interviews. I mean, we would have had what's that dude? What's that coach name that used to coach for Charlotte? Borrego. He was on an interview. Part. James Borrego was on the set interview part. But they said, nah, we're not gonna wait. Ime's our guy, and Ime wanted to be here. So again, we that's why I said C, and I'm glad you said a C plus, because again, we went through all that shit and we still got the best head coach out there on the
market. I mean, what team, like not organizationally, but like what specific team has gone through more adversity than us? Like not to say like, oh, like, feel bad for us, but like really, like which team has gone through literally the worst, in terms of the last 3 years? I mean, what team is like, we were supposed to be, and I'm not gonna lie, man, trading Russell Westbrook, man, that was, I didn't really like him on our team, but like we could have got anything. But that's the past, and this is phase 2 of the rebuild. So we're going into it headstrong. We're going in with a clean slate. Jalen Green superstar. I'm betting Jalen Green all-star appearance here soon. 25 points per game. That's if Ime can get Jalen to average 25, it's over for league. It's reps. Yeah. I can't wait. But so I'm going C plus. Dante went C minus. I think that's all I got for coaching. Okay, cool. Let's move on now to the last bit. As per usual, we're gonna talk about the playoffs and then the end of season awards. The Sixers went out sad in that game 7. Dante, I don't know if you watched it, man, but like I saw they were tied like 55, or it was Sixers were down 3.
It was 52-55.
Yep. They were down 3, and that's when I turned the game off. I work and all that, So I turned the game off, I'm like, man, I'm getting all these updates. I'm like, oh shit, the Sixers must have won. And I flip it, I see they lost by 40, bro. 40, bro. That is 10 games in a row, game 7s, that Doc Rivers has lost. 10 game 7s. Guys, I like Doc Rivers. I do. But the only championship he's won was 2008. Yep. Come on, man. You can't hold on to that forever, man. That chip getting a little dusty. Okay, he's getting a little old over there, I know ours are dusty, but bro, like you hold on to it like you the greatest coach of all time. And I think you're a great regular season coach. Like Mike D'Antoni, just a fantastic regular season coach. When it comes down to it in the playoffs, bro, you can't make adjustments, bro. Taking out PJ Tucker too early, making James Harden play 100 minutes a game. And then you telling him to play make, and then you get mad at him for playmaking. James Harden, like, what? Like, you coach told me to do this. I do it, and you get mad that I do it. And then Joel Embiid went from averaging 33 points in the regular season to 24 points in the playoffs. That is a 9-point difference. That is the largest playoff drop in NBA history for not only an MVP, but for points, not including injuries and whatnot. Wow, bro. And we'll talk about this when we get to awards, but if you the MVP, bro, you can't go out sad like that, bro. You can't go out sad like that, bro. You can't. And
that's what I want to speak on. We're gonna have to start having some damn questions about Joel Embiid.
Oh yeah,
because the dude cried 3 straight years and whined and moaned about Jokic didn't deserve the MVP. As Philly fans gave Jokic so much crap and saying he was overrated. He was.
I did too. I won't even lie. I did too.
But Jokic can get past the second round and get to the Western Conference Finals. He plays winning basketball. Joel Embiid plays losing basketball. His playoff resume stinks, sucks badly. Against the Atlanta Hawks, he went 7 for 20. He went 7 for 20 against the Atlanta Hawks,
and he had the gall to blame Ben Simmons.
And he had 8 turnovers. Nobody noticed that.
Oh, stank.
Last year. How about last year? He went 7 for 21 last year against the Miami Heat.
Oh my!
How about that? But we wanna, then you got the audacity as the MVP to say you and James need more people to step up, and you're the MVP of the league, and you and James the one. We already know James ain't gonna step up in a big time game, but James was the reason why they won, why they was in the game 7. James had a big game 1. He had a big game 4. He had a big time game 4, and James Harden was the reason why they was in the game 7. He was the reason why they won 2 of those games.
Yep.
Joel Embiid wasn't the reason why he was part of the reason in some of those games.
Yeah, game 4, he won.
Yep.
But like
game 4, PJ Tucker had to cuss him out in game 4. He had to literally cuss him out in game 4. And James Harden hits the corner 3. James Harden was the reason why that was even a game 7. Why it was even a game 7. You go back to game 5. DeAnthony Melton and Tyrese Maxey played out of their minds in game 5. Game 6, you know something about Jason Tatum? He doesn't have the best of playoffs, but he knows how to show when his team matters in game 6, especially in game 7. You want to talk about the game 7 where you had 51. 7, and most of them was on Joel Embiid. Most of them was on him. So we're going to have to start having some damn questions about Joel Embiid. Can't get him out of the second round. We're going to have to start having some questions on him.
You know he's never been to the conference finals.
Never, ever. Yes.
Since 2014, he's been in the league. He's never been to the conference finals once. And he's been up. I think he's choked. Is this 3 series now? Because the Toronto series, they really should have won that Toronto series, but Kawhi said no. They would have gone to overtime. Sixers win. I actually, during 2019, I had Sixers winning it all. Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. I thought, they were the number 1 seed, and it didn't matter. Kawhi was great, and he hit a game winner. But I mean, that's what good players do. Good players, great players, step up when they need to be. And I know I'm out here defending James. He had an atrocious game, right? I'm just gonna say that. Like James Harden he had the worst playoff game of his career that night, and that's what happens. However, I want to designate James Harden came to Philly to not be the man, to not be Houston Harden. When he was Houston Harden, they won 2 games. That's when you get Houston Harden, you win games. But they wanted, and it's different because you watch game 5 through 7. Doc Rivers started asking James to primarily playmake. That's why I made that joke there about playmaking. Asked him straight up facilitate for Maxey, for Embiid. And when he did that, he had that double-double. He had like 14 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds. Great, cool. He stat pad. That's nice. Maxey had 30 points as a playoff career high, and Embiid had 33. 33 is your average in the regular season, and that's what you needed to win that game 5, okay? You put up 33, I think, once, and then you put up 35 once. So 2 30-point games in an entire Game 7 series. You didn't play one game, and you let your James Harden, have to go off and go for 44 or 45, tying his playoff career high, and a 42 bomb to win. Just barely squeak by. And that including a game-tying floater, right, to send the game to OT, and then game-winning three-pointer. Bro, James can't do it all.
They went into the fourth quarter with only 92 points. The Boston Celtics had 83. James Harden had 12 of those 14 points. The other
12 straight in the fourth.
Yes. The other 3 come from PJ Tucker. So James Harden carried that game 4. And plus the game-winning three-pointer. And again, something that everybody don't know, Doc Rivers did not adjust once. Once Boston went to that big lineup, Robert Williams and Al Horford, they gave the Sixers a lot of problems. And something already cooking up in Philly. Word on the street, ladies and gentlemen, that Harden refusing to play for Doc Rivers. He wants Doc Rivers either gone or he doesn't want to play for him. That's word on the street. So now we got more we got more information that's gonna be coming out. They gotta pay Tyrese Maxey now. You gotta find a way to get out of that contract by Tobias Harris. Gotta find a way to get up out of that. James Harden can opt out and be a free agent and be a free agent this year. So the Sixers, they got problems. They got problems. Anthony Melton may be gone after this year because he's a free agent as well. So they got problems. Sixers got problems. Nuh-uh. Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Sixers got a lot of problems. They got some problems on their. They got some problems on their hand, man. So, other than that, man, possibility. Everybody saying James Harden is a return to Houston, which is I would not. I would not want it, but again, I will see why it happens. But again, I think we need to go ahead and spend that money somewhere else. I don't think he's worth a big time payday at this point of time in his career. And I'll say, man, Joel Embiid has failed repeatedly in the playoffs. Again, he has failed repeatedly in the playoffs over and over. Like I say, he cried for 3 years about Nikola Jokic being the MVP. Sixers fans cried about Jokic didn't deserve the MVP at all. And Jokic is still in the playoffs. He's in the Western Conference Finals. All of a sudden. And Joel Embiid goes home. And like I say, you got to give the Boston Celtics credit and Coach Joe Mazzulla, how well he handled this team, how well he adjusted. He put Robert Williams and Al Horford in. He adjusted his lineup, and Doc Rivers losing 10 straight. Game sevens is definitely horrendous. And man, it's going from bad to worse for the 76ers. So other than that, man, we got the Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets coming up tomorrow. Lakers versus Nuggets. I'm pulling for the Nuggets in 7 games, even though I do think the Lakers can win the series. But I'm taking my chances. I'm going for the Nuggets. I really like their team. I really like the way the Nuggets get after it. I like Jamal Murray. He's been good in these playoffs. Now, the wild card to me is Michael Porter Jr. I think he's a wild card for the Denver Nuggets. I think he's a great talent. Bruce Brown, who can defend and who's also an improved three-point shooter. Jokic makes the whole team, kind of better, passing, rebounding, in the post. But it's going to be a tough matchup, man. The Lakers, the best player in the world, pretty much, in LeBron James. Anytime you have him on the team, you got an opportunity to win any series. Anthony Davis being the Batman, for right now to LeBron James. He's getting the ball in the post. He's getting pretty much the ball in the post. And he getting the ball pretty much in the post. He's doing a good job of taking over when need to be taken over. So, again, a hell of a job by the Los Angeles Lakers, man. They were the best team in the league after the trade deadline, after they made major moves. You just got to give them credit. You just got to give credit where credit due. They did a hell of a job. They played well. They played defense well. Lonnie Walker had a big game. Game 4 for the Los Angeles Lakers. So got to give the Lakers credit, man. You got to give the Los Angeles Lakers credit. But I had my prediction, not my season prediction, but my middle of the season prediction. I had the Denver Nuggets going to the NBA Finals, and I'm going to stand by that. Even though I think the Lakers could win, I think the Lakers could pretty much win. But In the Eastern Conference, you have the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. The Miami Heat end up beating end up beating the New York Knicks in the series. Jalen Brunson did all he could. Julius Randle is just not that guy for the just not he's just not that guy. He's just not that guy. I think they need to make some adjustments on with Julius Randle. I don't think he fits the mold of what the New York Knicks can do. Um, I think Jalen Brunson is the guy for that team. Quentin Grimes is a good 3-and-D player, pretty much. He struggled pretty much in the series. Mitchell Robinson packs up the paint, but he is a good defender and a very good rebounder. That's something he is good at. You got Emmanuel Quickly, who was in a walking boot, so he couldn't play as much as he played. You have and I can hear you now, Press. I think you got to turn up.
Gosh.
You got to turn up.
Yeah, bro. Oh. Technical difficulties, guys. Holy nuts. Dante been holding it down. Keep going, Dante. Keep going.
Yeah, but other than that, I think Emmanuel Quickly, they needed Emmanuel Quickly. I think he kind of hurt in that series by not playing. But other than that, how many times you got to just say playoff Jimmy before people notice playoff Jimmy is a real guy, is a real one. Second straight Eastern Conference Finals, playing against the same team that they played against last year that arguably, they should have beat. They said Jimmy Butler, if he didn't take that 3-pointer, they probably could have won the game. But again, you gotta look at the circumstance. Jimmy Butler spent a lot of energy tying that series up last year. And Jimmy Butler is going to come out to play, man. He's going to come out. He's going to guard the best player on the floor. You got guys like Duncan Robinson that can step in, shoot the basketball. You got a lot of toughness on that basketball team. So, man, it's going to be a diehard great series. I got Boston winning that series in 7 games. I think Boston can win it. I think Boston is a better team in that series, but I would not be surprised if Jimmy Butler finds a way to get this team in the NBA Finals again. And don't be surprised if you see a Lakers versus Miami Heat series rematch, the bubble rematch. Don't be surprised. This time it won't be in the bubble. It will be traveling on each other's home court. So other than that, yeah.
Dude, man, it's gonna be Celtics Lakers. The script is already written.
It's
already written, man. I'm not gonna lie. Playoff Jimmy, 56 points on Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez was probably one of the greatest performances I've ever watched. Like, not gone back to YouTube highlights, but like watched in game live. I mean, Butler's good, man. And then his quote of, Tobias Harris over me. Yeah, bro, the Sixers messed up. they straight up messed up, bro. Like, Jimmy is that guy. I also won't count out the Nuggets. I mean, Jokic had that 53 ball, so he can't score. The biggest issue, I think, between those two is that Anthony Davis hasn't gone up against the big. Like, Jaren Jackson is a big, but he's not a big. Jokic is a big, he hasn't played against someone who's got post moves like that, and he can score at all 3 levels in the way that Jokic can score. He faced, like I said, Jaren Jackson Jr., who can score at all 3 levels, but he's more of a pick and pop shooter. Jokic can come off the screen. He can put you in the blender. He's got those Hakeem movements, and that's why everyone compares Şengün to Jokic. And then again, like the same thing with Sabonis, in that realm of center who's a great passer that can score at all 3 levels. I think, I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough series for the Lakers. I don't want LeBron to win another chip because #MJ GOAT. But I mean, I really like Austin Reeves. He's great. D'Lo, I absolutely love D'Lo. And I like AD, It's it's going to be a good series. As for Boston and the Heat, like I said, playoff Jimmy, man. I almost want to say the Heat. But I know how the NBA is. I mean, Game 7, 76ers v. Celtics, they brought Scott Foster and Eric Lewis in, who are avid Celtics fans and don't like James Harden. James Harden is 1-10 now against Scott Foster in playoffs games. So just saying, I could see it going. I could see it going to the Heat in favor, but that's all I got in terms of the NBA playoffs. Dante, I assume you good on that now?
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
good on it, man.
Yeah. Okay, so let's quickly run through because we just hit an hour now. So let's quickly run through the NBA awards, who won it, and then who we think should have won it. So we saw that Joel Embiid won the MVP. And during the regular season, man, I was like, man, Joel Embiid's just so good. He's better than Jokic, yada yada, 33 points a game. And I see how Jokic plays. Like, I didn't really watch Jokic. I didn't really watch the Nuggets. I was like, oh, the first seed, like whatever, man. They'd be the fourth seed in the East. That's how good the East was. Is that the first seed in the West was the fourth seed in the East. Like the East was stacked. So I was like, yeah, Embiid all day. 76ers all day, scoring duo with assist duo, James Harden, the first pair of teammates to lead the league in assists and points per game since like 1981 or something like that. Like they were pulling out stat after stat. I was ready for it, but it likely could have been Jokic. I really wouldn't have been mad, like looking back at it now, like again, 53 in the playoffs, just casually too. Like it's not like it was a hard fought Kevin Durant 50 ball. No, bro dropped 53 and said, okay, I'm not done yet, and then proceeded to drop a 30-point triple double the next game. Like, and he's got 9 triple doubles so far in the playoff series. Embiid, bro, yeah, Jokic is good. Jokic is the best center in the league. He should have won MVP. Your thoughts, Dante?
I thought they gave the MVP to the right person at that time. I thought they did, but the way he played, man, bro, the way he played in the playoffs, in the way Jokic played, Jokic game actually elevates in the playoffs. His game actually elevates. Yep. Joel Embiid's game gets worse in the playoffs. That's the difference. And someone that cried, constantly complained and cried about the MVP, and you can't step up in the playoffs. You was the 2 years straight. You won the scoring title as a big man. That's insane. No. But no results to show for in the playoffs. I thought they gave the MVP to the right person, but made the MVP look really bad this year. And I don't think it's going to get any easier for Joel Embiid either.
Nah, bro. There's even thoughts about Joel won't. If James leaves, Joel might want out there. So imagine Doc Rivers leaves. They trade Tobias Harris. James Harden leaves. Joel Embiid leaves, bro. That's a poverty franchise right there. If all those things
I think the process is broken. I think they broken. I think they really broken, man. I think it's over with. I really do.
Nah, it's over. Next award I got on here was the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award, who went to Malcolm Brogdon. He was Sixth Man of the Year. Malcolm was exactly what the Celtics needed, and when they got him for a bag of chips and like Frank Kaminsky, I was sorely jealous. I was like, man, the Celtics team is even better than before, and they just went to the finals. Like this isn't the equivalent of Golden State adding Kevin Durant. No, that's not what I'm saying. But this is like if Golden State went to the finals and then added Andre Iguodala. Like they. Malcolm is a great player. It looks like you have the same sentiments as I do. Yeah, Malcolm was the Sixth Man of the Year.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Malcolm Brogdon. Big fan of him. Yeah. Malcolm Brogdon can score, man. Malcolm Brogdon can put points on the board. He's got very good basketball IQ. I love Malcolm Brogdon, man. He definitely deserves the Sixth Man of the Year, man. He no arguments up out of me on that one. He definitely deserves it. He's good, man. He's a good player.
Yeah. Next guy I want to talk about is the Most Improved Player of the Year, who went to our boy Lauri Markkanen. So here's the argument I'll make. Ja Morant last season won Most Improved Player of the Year despite being in MVP conversations. And the reason that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't get Most Improved Player of the Year this season is because he was in MVP conversations. So it seemed like the most improved player of the year was an inconsistent award. Now, Lowry was great. I'm not even denying that. I mean, he turned into Kristaps Porzingis this season, but as a three, just a 6'11" dude who could just do everything, and he thrived in that Utah role with no expectations. That was absolutely fantastic. But I don't know. I think that Shea, he's the first guard since Jordan to average 1 block a game, 1 steal, and 30 points per game. And for him to not even make all defensive team was absolutely insane to me. And I mean, again, him doing that kind of defense on both sides of the floor isn't really seen as often these days. Usually it's a player is good on one side and not so good on the other side, but he was as effective, if not just a little less effective on defense than he was on offense, and doing so on 30 points per game on 50% shooting. I think Shea should have won most improved player, just going based on John Morant winning it last season. And then the season before, Brandon Ingram won most improved player of the year when he got to the Pelicans, despite Luka being the most improved player that season. I mean, he was first team All NBA the second season after, right after his rookie season. That's most improved player in my opinion. But they gave it to Brandon Ingram because Luka was in MVP conversation. So it's just an inconsistent award is all. But Lowry was a good choice.
Yeah, I thought it was a good choice as well, man. Like I said, again, no argument about me on that one. He definitely improved, man. I mean, especially we had to see it ourselves. When he had about 49 on us, I believe.
We did everything we could not let him get 50.
He actually started cooking us in the third and fourth quarter. We had no idea how to stop him. First time All-Star. It was clearly a slap in the face for the Chicago Bulls, how they underutilize them, and how the Cleveland Cavaliers underutilized him as well. And now for him to come and be an all-star as well. So again, you do get Lauri Markkanen definitely deserve it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is too goddamn good. That dude is too damn good, man. So other than that, man, I wouldn't be mad if he did got it, but Lauri Markkanen he put on the show this year.
He did. So next award we're gonna move on to is Defensive Player of the Year with Jaren Jackson Jr., who averaged 3 blocks a game. I wasn't a fan of runner-up Evan Mobley. I think Jared Allen was a better defensive player this season. He affected the paint differently, and I feel like his overall versatility as a big man should have warranted him being third for the in line for Defensive Player of the Year. And we saw Jaren get completely outplayed in the playoffs by Anthony Davis, who, in my opinion, Anthony Davis has been the best defender in the playoffs, no question. Obviously, AD didn't play enough games to get warranted for this award. Otherwise, AD would have had my vote, man. I know Anthony Day-to-Day Davis is a little overrated, but I mean, dude is just good. However, I'm glad that Jaren Jackson Jr. ended up winning the award. He deserved it. Fantastic defensive player, but just wasn't a fan of Evan Mobley being even in the top 3, especially because we watched him completely get just gamed by the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I thought he deserved it. 3 blocks a game. God, man, it's a lot of rim protection. Definitely got outplayed. By Anthony Davis in the playoffs. And golly, man, John Morant got some issues, man. That dude got some issues. I wouldn't be surprised. They may not need to slap him on the wrist this year. They may need to send him a message more than they slap him on the wrist. But other than that, Jaren Jackson Jr., hell of a defensive season for Jaren Jackson Jr. No problem with the defensive player of the year at that point in time. Man, averaging 3 blocks a game. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, man. I mean, who does that these days? Like 3 blocks a game.
Man.
Oh, man. Okay, so the last NBA, they have the clutch player of the year. We're going to move those kinds of awards, the coach of the year, executive, and hustle player, those awards to the next pod. But for this one, the last award we're going to talk about is the rookie of the year award. Paolo Banchero, yeah, man. Yeah, bro. He was good. He was deserving the number 1 pick. He had 98 out of the 100 first place votes to win the award. I mean, yeah, he Paolo was great. I mean, we saw him being able to be this 3-level scorer. Excuse me. Oh, it's getting late where I'm at, man. It's tired. Yeah, we saw him being this 3-level scorer while being an interesting playmaker. I didn't know that Banchero was able to have this playmaking ability within him, but that unlocked with the Magic and playing alongside Franz Wagner and Cole Anthony, I think really helped elevate his game. And then having a roamer like Wendell Carter Jr. over there was really effective for the Magic to allow Apollo to put this complete rookie season together, and then for him to star well in his role. Standing at 6'10", yeah, Paolo was great. He was the number one pick for a reason. I will say that Walker Kessler and Jalen Williams being in top 2 and 3 for Rookie of the Year was absolutely insane. Recency bias is absolutely insane, bro. Walker Kessler was not doing too much. Good guy, fantastic defensively, but not he was not the third best rookie in the entire class, in my opinion.
I like, man. That's obvious, man. That's obvious. Pablo Banchero, definitely, man. Definitely the rookie of the year, man. This team, 33 wins. That's a very good season for the Orlando Magic.
Yeah,
Right, man. That's way better than us. And to me, I thought we had actually a better team than Orlando, actually. But Pablo Banchero, 20 points per game, over 20 points per game this year, can shoot the three and can make every play in the book. Benedict Mathurin was also really good this year, also really good from the Indiana Pacers. Jaden Ivey was good for Detroit. Jalen Williams, aka J Dub from Oklahoma City, was really damn good this year. Walker Kessler had a pretty solid season, but he ain't the third best rookie in the.
No.
But other than that, Pablo Banchero, that was obvious. That was obvious rookie of the year, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, almost the unanimous rookie of the year. I mean, realistically, he should have just been the unanimous rookie of the year. If I had a vote, I would have voted for him, right? Like, I know he's for the Magic, but like, if we just being real, like, Paolo was great, and Jabari had a really rough stretch going on there. I think it was the end of the season that was able to really boost him to get to all rookie second team. Otherwise, like I said, like to begin with, Jabari was literally the worst player in the NBA. Not literally, but he was one of the worst players in the NBA, and that says a lot considering there's over 500 players in the entire league at one given time. It was tough, but he's able to battle back, and hopefully. Much like Jalen Green from last season and KPJ last season, hopefully it carries over. The weight of that carries over to this season, and we'll see him improve. But other than that, yeah, I mean that clears it for the awards for this pod here. Now, I know tomorrow, I guess today, right? It's
10 minutes away, man.
It is going on. So Dante, let's do one more tankathon spin. How do you feel? Let's do it, man. Let's do it because. Gosh dang it. Last time, man, I got the 6th pick and I spun once or twice, man. I was not happy about that. So today we rectify it. All right. Hey, yo, AD, I need you to edit that out real quick. All right. So we back after all that fun stuff. Here we go. This is what's going on here. We are going to spin once again, as it is. This is what the picks are looking like. Chicago, I guess, is going to get their pick is going to Orlando. That sucks, man, because Chicago, despite they won 40 games, Chicago won 40 games this season. They made the playoffs.
They was in the play-in tournament. They lost to the
They did, bro. Dang, man. That's tough, bro. That's tough. Yeah, man. This is what it's looking like right now. This pick is going to look real sweet here. Hopefully, we get Keegan Murray or Chris Murray from Iowa.
We do got 2 first rounders.
Yeah. Before I take this spin here, regarding that pick, I put out a poll here, and I had a few people answer. I said, would you be willing to trade Jayshawn Tate, pick 20, and Garuba for Jonathan Kuminga in a second rounder? How do you feel about that?
I'm not on the board with that part right there.
No.
Nah.
What would it take? to get Jonathan Kuminga, do you think? What would be an acceptable trade? Because he might be on the chopping block. Steve Kerr don't play him at all.
Yeah, I don't think he's a first round. He's worth a first rounder though. He's not worth a first round pick.
You don't think if it was like Jason Tate and the 20th pick for Kuminga in a second rounder, you wouldn't do that?
No, if it was for Jason Tate, I probably would straight up. I probably would, but not the first round pick.
No. Okay. Hey,
a lot or too much.
Hey, I get it. So hopefully we can get that good Chris Murray from Iowa. Support Iowa, man. Houston, come on. All right, let's do it, Dante. You ready? I'm ready. Yeah, what pick do you think they're going to get? I'm going for number 4. I know it's going to be bad, but I think we're going to pick 4.
I'm gonna say 3.
3? Yeah. The luck within us. Yeah. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh man. Portland moves up to 2. Dame, Simons, Brandon Miller, Jeremy Grant.
I hope we get 2 or 3, man. I just want 2 or 3 so bad. I don't want to drop past 4 really like that.
Yeah, bro. I can't believe we fell all the way to 6. Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. As long as Dallas stays at pick 10, that's fine for me. I don't want Dallas to get nothing, especially that stunt they pulled. They don't deserve nothing. I like how none of the teams from 9 down moved, but Houston and Detroit and Charlotte all moved down more than 3 spots at least.
Yep.
Man, that's tough. Washington does not deserve that high of a pick. Oh my gosh, y'all got Kuzma and Kristaps Porzingis over there, man. Oh man, well, I'd say that's about it. Remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on coaching and free agency grades. And then let us know how you thought we did regarding the playoff predictions and NBA awards. We've all got differing opinions, so we got to know what's up. What's your opinion? Be sure to follow this account on Twitter at the H-Town Rundown here on Twitter and as well on Instagram. You can follow me at DripGod. That's an _GAWD on Instagram and on Twitter. And follow Dante, man. Get this man some follows at Coach Dante 31 on Twitter and Instagram. He also has his own YouTube page. I don't know if you guys know that, but go over there, subscribe, listen to his channel. He does a lot of solo pods. He's fantastic over there. This man is a wizard. But with that, Dante, I think that's it, man. You got anything else for us before we leave off, man?
Man, just hope for the best tomorrow. We got Ime Udoka representing us, man. So anywhere between that 1, 2, and 3, we be all right. We be set up.
Man, I don't have it queued up, but pray for Victor, man. We need that prayer circle going here, man, because it's not looking too good, bro. Especially after that roll, man. I know on lockdown they both Ben DeBose and Jackson both rolled pick 5. So if we get all that bad juju out now, we're guaranteed the first pick, right? That's how karma works, right?
Yep.
All right, man. Well, Dante, I can't wait to see you next time, man. Thank you, Houston community, for watching another fantastic episode of H-Town Rundown. Peace.
Peace out.